Welcome everyone to MOX's Batch 1 Demo Day. Woo! My name is Ryan Shukin, and I am one of the Director of Growth Hacking at MOX, and it is my absolute pleasure. I am beyond excited to introduce and give you guys the opportunity to see these 8 amazing startups. Our program has been 2 months in Taipei. We've worked really hard, we've struggled, and we've created something amazing. So without any further ado, I'm going to welcome on William Balbine, our Managing Director. He's going to give you an intro on what MOX is and what we really do.
Thank you. So usually I try and keep my comments very brief, but since MOX is quite new, I'm going to give you a very, very long and boring speech. First, most important thing, if you're using Facebook or Twitter or anything else that's interesting, use the Moxxers tag. Really appreciate it. Hopefully by this point, you know what an accelerator is. Yeah. So we're not your typical accelerator. We don't have classes. We only take companies that have product, that have users, that have awesome retention. And most of our companies actually have revenue before they come into the program. All of the companies in MOX Batch 1 have actually already raised money. So what is MOX? And how does it work? So we're a typical Silicon Valley type accelerator. Every single company that comes into MOX gives common stock for the program. And at the same time, we invest pre-program in the company's current round. MOX is not a one-size-fits-all accelerator. So we have companies that go from what do you call it, your pre-A or seed, Series C or seed plus, all the way to post-Series A. So we do 2 batches a year, and each batch, this batch was 2 months, but we learned, and the next batch is going to be 3 months. So we're very much mentor focused, and we are a partnership. So MOX is a partnership between Gmobi and SOSV. SOSV is a VC, and Gmobi is a smartphone platform. So the easiest way to think about Gmobi is we're kind of like Xiaomi without the hardware, okay? So what's our focus? We're looking at the next 4 billion. So if you're in the US or Europe, your first experience on the internet was on a PC. China is probably now the largest mobile-only market, 500 million users on the internet, soon to be 1 billion. We are focused with MOX on the next 4 billion. So Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, and South America. Through our partnership with Gmobi, MOX has 100 million smartphones on our platform. We have both an ad platform and we have a payment platform in over 50 countries. So what's our approach? The biggest problem facing startups today is user acquisition. Probably the number 2 problem is retention. So MOX solves user acquisition for startups. We take the best companies, the best startups from around the world, and we give them free distribution on our 100 million users. That's free distribution to the 100 million users on the MOX platform. We then help them with retention, localization, and finally monetization on a revenue share basis. So what are the results? MOX is not like a 3 months and done type of program. It's actually a strategic partnership between the startup and MOX. So for the last 8 weeks, what we've done is integration, optimization, localization. In the last 2 weeks, we turned on the growth. And the focus here going forward is to get hopefully every one of these companies into the 100 million users on the MOX platform. So we couldn't do it without our mentors. We don't have classes. but we do have 160 mentors. Some of these are familiar faces, some not. But the key here is that it's not classroom-based, it's all one-on-one. And our program is in Taipei. We bring our mentors from all around the world to Taipei to do one-on-one sessions. So what's SOSV? SOSV, we're a $250 million VC fund. We're the accelerator VC. So what does that mean? We're 7 partners and our managing director, and we all invest through our accelerator programs. We currently have 9 programs on the SOSV platform. So just go through quickly, you're here for MOX, I explain what we do. HAX is the #1 hardware accelerator in the world. We have 4 programs on the HAX platform. Just throw some stats out there. I think we have, outside of games, 10% of the companies in the $1 million club in Kickstarter went through our programs. I think we have, so out of the last 80 companies that launched on Kickstarter, all reached their goal, and all, unfortunately, but one, actually delivered. IndieBio, which is synthetic biology in San Francisco and Ireland, is focused on applying the same sort of lean startup and new technology platforms to biology. UrbanX is smart cities out of New York. FoodX is a global food accelerator in New York. And then China Accelerator, which was our first accelerator, and I'm also the MD there. We started 6.5 years ago. We're the first accelerator in Asia, the longest running, the largest, and at least on paper, we're the most successful. So I'd like to just quickly introduce the guy who started it all. Unfortunately, he's not here today. But Sean's an entrepreneur. In his college dorm room, as most entrepreneurs start, he created something where you take a white box, we've all done this hopefully on your way here, you put an address in it, and it shows up as a dot on a map. So he invented that in the late 80s in college. Co-founded MapInfo, built it to 1,000 employees, went public on the NASDAQ. Then in '96, he co-coined the term cloud computing. He trademarked it. So the reason why you can all use cloud computing in your marketing material today is because he wants to keep that term open to everyone. SOSV actually started off as Sean O'Sullivan Ventures. Yeah, he didn't think it would grow this big, but SOSV started off as his personal portfolio and has now grown to a accelerator platform where last year we invested in 180 companies. So just really quickly about our values. Our purpose here, we're really trying to change the world in a better way. Okay. One of the issues with being a mobile-first, mobile-only entrepreneur today is it doesn't matter how good your app is. Okay. It's not like when Zuckerberg was in his dorm room and people would just use his app and would go viral. People would tell people, well, now the platforms that you used to go viral on, they don't allow you to unless you pay money. So if you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter how good your app or product or platform is, it costs you $500,000 just in marketing, just so people can see it. So we're trying to create a more open marketplace where the best apps, best products, best services have a chance. Our approach is, again, mentorship-based. We add value, not just through free distribution to our 100 million users, but also through our mentors. And we invest both before program as well as after program. We are a VC. And finally, we give back. One of our 7 partners founded something called Coder Dojo. Coder Dojo is one of the largest free volunteer-based coding education platforms in the world. Back in 2010, we backed Khan Academy. So Gates Foundation stepped up with $1.5 million. Google put in $2 million, but SOSV Foundation put up $5 million. And Sean's on the board of Khan Academy today. So finally, we do make money. Okay, I joined 1.5 years ago, so I can take no credit for any of this. But we're successful because our entrepreneurs are successful. So thank you very much. It's time to start the demo day. I'll turn it back to Ryan, and let's rock it.
All right, guys, so without any further ado, I'd like to welcome up Demyst Data on stage for the first pitch. Woo! Good.
Hi. Thanks for taking the time to come and talk, to listen. Okay, so I would like now to introduce you to a guy though. His name's Abdul. So Abdul actually, he lives on the east coast of Sumatra, an island called Palembang. He has a shop there where what he does is he takes old vertical motors actually, and then he reconditions them, and he sells them as spare parts. Now, this is never going to make him rich, but on the other hand, it does keep him and his family comfortable with what his lifestyle. So February the 3rd, it was a really bad day actually for DC. There was a fire. It started in the restaurant on the road, and it soon engulfed the entire block. The finally came that by the time they actually managed to quell the flames, his shop, his tools, his livelihood, it was just gone. Now, if Abdul lived in the same world as you and I, Abdul would go to a bank, get a loan, buy some tools, and restart his business. But Abdul doesn't live that long. He doesn't even have a bank account. So unless he's got family and friends who can lend him the money that he needs to restart his business, he's soon going to fall into poverty. And he's going to take his family with him. So the reason why Abdul can't get a loan is really very, very simple. The banks are critically dependent upon loan infrastructure provided by the credit bureaus. Now, in the emerging markets of Asia, there are over 3 billion people, but there are only 585 million records in the credit bureaus. Now, as far as the banks are concerned, people like Abdul are just ghosts. But Abdul's not a ghost. He walks the same earth as you and I, and he leaves a footprint. Abdul, like most of the other people in the emerging markets of Asia, has a mobile phone. Now, when William told us about this program, we got really excited because we realized that we can help Abdul by using the information on his mobile phone. You see, the mobile phone is possibly the most personal device ever created. With the information on your phone, I know where you are. I can tell where you've been. This one's kind of interesting, actually. See that text in the middle? That's from my bank. It's telling me that there has been a deposit made into my credit card. I know you've called, and who's been calling you. I know what time you woke up, and I probably know a bit about what you did with the day. I even know a bit about your family as well. Now, I can see these people in here freaking out right now. Believe me, I don't spend my days calling through the mobile phone details to find out things about you. As much as I like about that, I really don't like that. But we do use sophisticated algorithms to be able to, we do use sophisticated algorithms in order to be able to take the information from a mobile phone in order to be able to generate signals, signals that we can label. So the process here is really quite simple. What happens is that Gmobi has the ability to be able to push ads to over 100 million phones across the world. So we just make an offer for a loan. If the person responds to that offer, an app is downloaded onto their phone, they fill in their personal details, and they give us the permission to use their data. Then after that, all that information is packaged up, sent to our back office, to our engine, credit engine. There, we also enrich that information with other information we can find out about the individual from many sources around the world. And finally, we create a credit score. Now, if the person actually passes the lending criteria, then we pass them on to our partner. Now, our partner is operating in 11 different countries, has over 175,000 contact points. So they deliver the money, they collect the payments, and we get commission. Now, what do we expect to get out of this? Well, there's going to be some development period, but once that's done, the first 3 years of operations, we expect to be generating 190 million in revenues. That's going to be 6.6 million people in the emerging market stage connected to the global financial system. That's going to be over $750 billion US in fresh loans. Now, Devastator are exactly the right people to actually meet this challenge. And the reason is because what we do as a company is we take messy, unstructured data, we process it, we structure it, and then we serve it up to some of the biggest banks in the world to help them with their onboarding processes. Devastator was actually founded by Mark Cookie, this guy just over there. Now, Mark had the experience of going to a new country. He just sold a company, he moved to a new country, and he actually tried to apply for a credit card, but got rejected for exactly the same reasons that I did get rejected, because he wasn't on the credit bureau. And he just thought it was a bit ridiculous, because there's a lot of information out there. If they just had access to some of that information, then they'd be able to find out they'd be a fantastic customer. Bob Merrick is our Chief Operating Officer and also co-founder, and Oliver has spent, I think, about 4 years as a private equity investor here within Southeast Asia before actually founding Devastator. And Oliver is well connected in the area, and also certainly from his experience knows how business should run. Now, my name is Craig Shaw. I'm the Chief Scientist at Devastator, and what I've spent most of my life doing is building the brains of a bank. Their automated decision processes. It's one thing I do know is how to lend money. Brendan Grace, he is our VP of engineering. And Brendan is an amazing engineer. He spent about 15 years working in high-tech companies. He most recently was the VP of engineering for Collective, which is one of the most aggressive ag-tech companies on the planet. Jason Mintz is our VP for product. Now, he's our get-shit-done guy. He also comes from Collective, and there he actually used natural language processing in order to be able to try to improve ad placements. So let's see the data. Now, we're not really here looking for funding, although we do have a Series B coming up, and if there's anybody who's interested in participating, then let's go and then we'll chat soon. What we really need, though, is because we're here to try and connect people in emerging markets to the global financial system. And we need help. At the moment, we have the ability to be able to deliver loans to around about 60% of the users who are covered by MOX. And we need people who can help us to be able to deliver money and collect repayments for the other 40%. More to the point, we need data. We can make some good decisions, but more data means better decisions. So lots and lots of data. Now, I know you guys are out there, so I'll be at the back while we get a chat. Thank you very much.
People communicate today through pictures because it helped them to express themselves better, right? Like with this picture of Kanye West, or this funny thought from the toilet, or where people are using stickers on every possible messaging app out there. But here's the funny thing. In this world of images, our visual expression is actually very limited to those pre-made memes and stickers. But our thoughts, they're created, they're original. They don't always fit those memes and stickers. We want to have the ability to express what's in our head. KitKat wants to revolutionize the way that people communicate through pictures. It's a platform that lets every user translate any idea into an image instantly. No computers, no Photoshop skills, just you, your phone, and your fingers. How this magic works? Elections are just around the corner in the US, and I had this funny idea. What if Miley Cyrus will run for president? Now, I can't find any memes or sticker that say that. So I opened KitKat and initially see content created by other people, but then I'm going to create on my own. I can search for any image I want from the web. I found one that is good, and I can just cut it with my finger, just like that. Add a picture. Now add another better picture, actually. A donkey. I can write a hat. I can write some text. Miley for president. Some doodles, and I'm done. It was in my head, but now it's in my phone. I can share it socially, or I can share it as a message. Now that's my twisted idea, but let's see what other people are already created in the app. We got beautifully designed and creative ideas. Simple and smart. We got politics, of course, or just awesome stuff. Now, we launched the app only 5 months ago in the US market and already reached 120,000 users. But what's really amazing that they created already more than 600,000 contents. And it wasn't created like 5% of the users or 10% like in Twitter or Vine. We have 46% of the people creating content. That's how simple it is. And they didn't stay here for a week or two and went home. More than 27% of the people stayed over a month in the app. In the last months, we've been starting to work on a new partnership with Gmobi, which you've heard about, in order to penetrate emerging markets, and the result is pretty much amazing. We're able to grow an additional 300,000 users. So KitKat today almost stands in almost 500,000 users. But this is just the beginning. KitKat wants to be the central authority for visual measures. It means that in the same way, when you're thinking today about taking a picture, and you're thinking about Instagram, when you be thinking in the future about memes, about stickers, about visual measure, you'll be thinking about KitKat. And how are we going to do it? We're going to start by penetrating the most relevant market that can make this revolution. Teenagers. They're the most creative, they're spending hours on their phone, and the most viral target audience out there. And we're not going to settle for that. We're going to make sure that when you're using KitKat, you can share it everywhere. You can use Facebook, Twitter, Line, WeChat. And when you use it, there's going to be a watermark there saying it was created with KitKat. And this way, we're going to make sure that the stakes for reaching our goals are not high, actually pretty low. Our business model is based on a proven business model by Line app, which is making today a quarter more than $250 million. Only it's better. It's based on building a marketplace, selling content to users, and providing ads. KitKat Marketplace is going to be based on users that can create templates of KitKat. And our biggest advantage is that every user can create a template of KitKat. You don't need to be a graphic designer or a professional. You can just create it very simply, and then users can customize this content on their own. On the other side, users can buy packages of templates, use our billing systems, and we share the revenue. Another nice thing is ads. We're going to do personalized ads, and there's no better way to reach the heart other than doing it in a personal way. So whenever you're going to see, imagine that you'll see your face on a Pepsi ad, or your face is a burger on a McDonald's ad. KitKat's unique way of content is going to make us, going to help us do personalized ads like never done before. This is done with our amazing team, which is the best thing to do it because we have the best creative, the best technology, and a lot of experience. We've been in mobile since mobile started, and already have 2 apps in the field that reach above 500,000 users. We're raising today $1 million. So if you see the vision the way that we see it, and you're interested, please come and talk with us. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Up next, we got our ACE team from India. Please welcome Dick on the go.
Imagine you are Alok, our co-founder. Like many Indians, Alok grew up in India but moved abroad for university to the Philippines and then to the UK for work. While Alok moved all around the world, his friends and family are still in India. Now, India is a massive gift-giving country with hundreds of festivals and millions of gifts exchanged every year. Millions of gifts exchanged every year, and so while Alok, like Alok, there are many other Indians who face similar problems back in India. We would like to talk a lot more of the problem. There are the gifting industry in India has three major problems. Trust. While it is very difficult to find the right vendor in each city back in India, because when you Google it, you find 500,000 responses. What do you do with them? Choice. How do you find the right gift suiting your budget in each category? While there are some vendors who deliver only e-gifts, the other deliver physical products only. Convenience. How do you pay these vendors? How do you know the gift will be delivered correctly? While Alok once had gifted a nice looking cake to his father-in-law online, this is how he expected it to be delivered, but was super embarrassed to see what got delivered was this. Now, because India is a big gifting country, these problems definitely create a broken user experience. And that is why we strongly believe Gift on the Go has an important role to play in the way people gift in India. Gift on the Go solves this problem by creating a mobile-first online gifting platform for users to access gifts across online to offline products, and all of this from the best local vendors. Would like to show you how the app works. Now, India is a country of many festivals, and Gift on the Go is the perfect way to deliver gifts to your loved ones from anywhere in the world. Just select the category of your choice, choose from 22 important cities in India, select from wide range of products from cakes, flowers, chocolates, e-gifts, and more. Just tap on the gift of your choice, key in the delivery details with a special message for your loved ones, pay through a number of important and easy payment options, and there you go. That's truly love delivered. Now, the gifting market in India is about $20 billion, but only about 500 million happens online. The market is too fragmented, and there is no one platform who has organized all of this on mobile. Looking at the market closely, there are e-commerce players who typically operate on the web, and then there are gifting portals who operate on the web and also on a specific category of gifting. And then there is Gift on the Go, who has an advantage over all of them, because we are a mobile-only platform, specifically for a country like India where people access internet for the first time on their mobile. Secondly, because we directly work with vendors to ensure that what gets delivered is of extremely high quality, unlike our competitors who typically operate on an affiliate model, either through brokers or agents. And thirdly, for aggregating all of this online to offline products under one platform. We are present across 22 important cities in India that pretty much covers all the top metros and tier 1 cities. We have built a strong network of 100+ vendors, and these are the best florists and bakeries in each city. And now we've also added the best online players in India. We have a pretty diverse team working on the product. All of us came together in 2008 at Buongiorno, which is one of the biggest mobile platform companies in the world. Alok, apart from being the CEO of the organization, also heads product and strategy for us, has 7+ years of experience in various product roles both in India and UK. Tushar heads operations for us, has 10+ years of experience in mobile financial system and loyalty. His last stint was with Ericsson, where he headed mobile payments for Southeast Asia. Upkar heads tech and engineering for us, has 10 plus years of experience across multiple mobile platforms, both in India and the UK. And I'm Niladri. I have business development, have 9 plus years of experience across multiple business development and sales roles with industry leaders such as Airtel and Docomo. My last stint was with Hype Messenger, the biggest messaging platform in India, as head of business development. Now, since we joined MOX, we have had about 40,000 installs on the app and seen a steady growth over the last few weeks. And we are already making revenues. We have seen a significant growth week on week over the last 2 months. We are doing about 50 transactions a week, and it's growing every week. So, we are raising $1 million, primarily to expand our vendor network and to extend our reach beyond multiple more cities, both in India and abroad. We are looking for investors who have a keen interest on e-commerce and would help us grow and be the biggest gifting platform in India and outside. We are right out there. We would love to talk to you. Do come to us and talk more about gifting. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Tappytoon. Let's do it. Here's Tappytoon.
When you were young, you all read comics that looked like this. But maybe not. Maybe if you grew up in Singapore in Asia, maybe it looked something closer to something like this. That was a really good one. The problem with comics today is that we read it a lot when we were younger. We paid for good money for it. But today, kids still love comics, but they're not carrying around comic books anymore. They carry around a smartphone. The problem with comics today is that they can't find good enough comics to read on these devices, and creators are also having a similar problem where they're not getting paid money for it. Let me explain a little further. This is Automata, one of our own titles. Before we signed this author up with us, she was getting anywhere from around 500K to 4 million views per episode, all around the globe. The problem was that she wasn't making any money off of it because all of those views were pirated. I want to take a look at this space, including Singapore and India, in Southeast Asia, where there's young people around the age of 10 to 25, and there's already 518 million of them. Where do these young people get their comics from? These are mobile-only, mobile-first countries that everyone's been all talking about today, where their first point of internet access is on their smartphones. The problem in these countries is that you can't even pirate them. Try pirating something on a smartphone, it's really hard to do. The solution is Tappytoon. We're bringing comics to smartphone devices and mobile devices everywhere. We're a digital comics platform for the world. We license comics from artists and creators, aggregate them into our app, service it on the app store, and we monetize it. How do we do this? Let me show you. You browse through the app, find something that looks good. All right, I'll pick that one. Find a chapter. And then you start reading. That's it. And we monetize it with ads. You see the banner at the bottom? And there's also in-app purchases coming, as well as premium subscription options. Where does Tappytoon fit? I'm going to take a look back at the music industry. It was nearly killed by pirates. You all remember things like Napster and Kazaa, right? And then iTunes came along and made things better. It was so simple that you just had to, it was so simple to pay for the actual music that you're listening to. Then came along Spotify, and at this point you didn't even have to pay anymore. You were already listening for free. It's what Big E here in Singapore does for dramas around the world, and Netflix does for movies. Tappytoon is doing exactly that for comics. My CEO and co-founder's son was in charge of the 2 biggest film markets in Asia, connecting global co-productions and acquisition teams. I have 10 years of experience in media, including marketing and user acquisition for some of the biggest games in Asia on the app stores. I also have experience with bringing some of the first Korean titles in translation to comic book stores around the world. with net comics. June, our developer, has experience leading teams in several consumer-facing and marketplace apps. And Mike will just make sure that everything looks great, because comics are all about looking great. We have mentors and advisors who are guiding us with their experience in data-driven growth, product optimization, as well as new media marketing initiatives for this mobile generation. You all know how K-pop and Korean dramas and film have exploded in Southeast Asia and the world. What you probably didn't realize was that many of these were actually based on comics. We've signed up some of the biggest names in this space, getting their content in comics, getting exclusive licensing deals so that we can distribute their comics around the world. And we also have great government support to get this content out there. We've also done things that don't scale, but were important to us as a business because it would give us the relationships and the customers that we need. We contacted and licensed, worked with original creators, top popular original creators, to create original comics and IP, intellectual property that you can't get anywhere else except through our service. By June of this year, we'll have increased our library over 20 times what we had less than a year ago. More comics means people will spend more time in our apps, and that way we can make more money. They're spending over 5 minutes in our app and service. That's longer than most social media apps on these devices. And through MOX, we've grown from this, before the program, to this. We're now servicing 97 countries in the world because our comics are in English. And we've already served over 500,000 chapters around the world. We're raising $1 million to increase our development team so that they can meet this increasing demand, increase our partnerships with other languages, and being able to release these comics in other languages that are usually common for. So if you understand that comics and content is king, please come talk to us. We're Tappytoon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. We're going to have a quick 5-minute chat or so with William Balbeen, managing partner, and we're going to try to ask him to see if we can get some answers about the startup community and the building the mobile first users that we've been targeting. So let's set that up real quick.
If I said that, anybody can see. It's okay.
All right, so kind of the first question I think would be interesting for everyone here is, what are some of the learnings that you've seen in a mobile-first, mobile-only market, since MOX targets that, and what kind of differences have you seen?
So the biggest issue with mobile first, mobile only is generally the device and the network. So anything that's created in Singapore will likely fail in Malaysia or Indonesia or India because it's too big. It's generally it'll be too slow or just plain crash the app. It's built on platforms that do not work. For example, if you want to be on Google Play, you have to have Google Wallet, and Google Wallet doesn't really work in most of Southeast Asia. In fact, any of the mobile-first, mobile-only markets. So you can't get paid. So why go to emerging Asia, South America, Eastern Europe if you can't get paid? So the biggest reason why we wanted to do this is to open up the mobile-first, mobile-only markets to entrepreneurs. I mean, you go to Silicon Valley, okay, fine, they just focus right on Silicon Valley. But if you go to America, you go to Europe, most folks, or even Israel, most folks focus on US and Europe. Even in Singapore, or Taipei, or Japan, the first market that they want to go to is the US. It's because it's not open, so that's what we're trying to fix.
So when building a startup community for this type of growth, what are some of the takeaways that you have, or some of your insights in really developing an entrepreneur mindset for this type of mobile first, mobile only, and for the community?
So getting MOX together was really fucking painful. Okay. And it wouldn't have been any less painful if we waited 6 months. First of all, you've got companies from around the world, used to US and Europe. Most of the users that you've seen, these apps, these platforms, their customers are in US and Europe. That's where they started. The second thing is we were working with a partner. And whenever you work with a partner, it's always problematic. And that's why we did this in an accelerator. Because you get everybody in one place at one time and all doing the same thing. So with most sort of city-by-city accelerators, they're awesome. GFDI, a lot of the other guys down here, AppWorks in Taiwan, they do a great job. But the companies are all doing different things. Now they're all going through the grind, right? They're all having a tough time. But they're doing different things. With our accelerator, and the reason why we did it in MOX in the form of an accelerator, 2 reasons. One, the companies are all going through the same process. Okay, they're all trying to get new users for their apps in India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, also Russia, Ukraine, Mexico, Brazil. So they're all going through the same pain. The other thing is they're all sharing. And so everybody is looking at each other's campaigns, trying to figure out how to optimize them the best. Not only that, they're all in one room talking to each other. So actually we saw the best batch cohesion that we've ever seen in SOS, where all the CEOs got together, were talking amongst each other, and bringing us in and telling us how to make the batch better. Because if we can make the batch better, the program better, the platform better, then they can do better. So it's a real long-term partnership, as opposed to 8 companies doing 8 separate different things. So the best way to get a community together is to put them all together and put them through an extremely painful process. The first 7.5 weeks were extremely painful, and then we got some growth at the end, which is good.
So last question, just what's your biggest, kind of your favorite takeaway or quote or kind of way that you think for startups or people to look forward to press on and go through the pressure cooker that is a startup?
I think the teams all heard this 2 days ago in Taipei, but the most important thing, I think, is actually to try and do it together, okay? We're a mentorship-focused program. We have 160 mentors. We have our teams, there's over 60 people in SOSV, 12 people in my team. And then we have the startups themselves. So if you're doing it together, you can take on to like the collective knowledge. And everybody who's been in an accelerator, done an accelerator, or visited an accelerator knows this. But doing a hard thing is a lot easier when you're doing it together with other folks. And so that's one of the reasons why MOX actually partners with accelerators around the world. We're partnered with Mybrana, we're in Singapore and Sydney. We're partnering with Farhad soon. We're partnered with Magic, with Nipa in Korea, a bunch of guys in Tel Aviv. And so doing it together makes it a lot easier. And so we're just happy to be here, and let's go for round 2.
All right. Thank you guys. All right, so 4 down, 4 to go. Let's get back to the pitches. First, I'd like to introduce Sweet to the stage, please. Let's give it up for Sweet.
So, whenever I want to have a crazy night on the town, I always bring my trusty KitKat. I always get lots of attention, I always feel special, and I always go home happy. That's what Sweet does for singles in the dating app world. I want to introduce you to my friend Radhika. She's a young professional, she lives in Delhi, and she uses dating apps. She wants control over her dating life. She wants to make sure she meets the right guys, right education, right job, all that good stuff. But on Tinder and other apps, she ends up feeling overwhelmed. She feels like all the guys are treating her like just a number. At the end of the day, this is what she feels like. Everyone wants to feel special. That's the thing. Guys, girls, we all want to feel special. For women, they don't want to feel like just a number. They want to feel like the guy picked them out specifically and is paying attention just to them. And for guys, of course, we want to stand out to that girl. We don't want to be just a number as well. So Down lets you do that, and Sweet is for these women in India and the rest of the emerging markets. Let me show you exactly how we do it. So here's the app. Of course, when you launch it, it sets up your profile and you see people nearby. Now we have the basic info like photos, we have education, work, and something witty that you want to write about yourself. If you're interested in that person, you just swipe down, and that's a like. But if you're really interested and you want to stand out, you swipe up for a sweet like. Then you get to choose exactly why that person was special to you, why they stood out. When I choose sweet like and I receive that, that person goes to the front of my queue. So it's a great way to really stand out from the crowd, and of course the receiver feels really flattered. Now the important thing about the sweet like is guys are going to send them a lot. But of course they have to pay. So these are still scarce, and it's a great way to get the person their attention that you really like. We're going after the next 4 billion mobile phone users. These are users who either haven't used dating apps or they're just starting to now. There's no incumbent here, and there are apps like ours that are going to come in and they're going to take over the market. We're right in the sweet spot between our competitors. There are worldwide apps like Tinder. Of course, they have coverage everywhere, but they're not really culturally sensitive, and they're not customized for each location. They also tend to be known as just a hookup app. Then you have apps that are really rigid and old school, like Shine. And those are the ones that, frankly, the young professionals, they don't want to use anymore. We're right in the sweet spot, and people feel comfortable using us because they don't feel like just a number. So how do I know this is going to work? Well, I started a company called Bandwidth Friends. I grew that into Down and over 3.5 million users worldwide. It's all organic. If you look it up, we're the #1 app for the dating keyword on the App Store. I've also worked at Microsoft, I graduated from Cornell, and I've been in the industry for 4 years. I've featured at lots of conferences, and frankly, I just know way too much about dating. So I hired 2 people in Taipei. I have an excellent designer and a great coder. And we've raised over $1 million from investors in Silicon Valley. So I've grown Down, our hookup app brand, to over 3.5 million users, and they're mostly in the United States. Our next 3.5 million are going to come from Southeast Asia. What we're looking for today are 2 things. Of course, we're raising money from select investors, just a small round because we're already profitable. But we also want sweet partners. If you want to bring a really sweet dating app to Southeast Asia, we'd love to talk to you. Look for the guy in the panda hat. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Stefano from Bubleye. Woo!
The mobile ecosystem has a damn big problem. That is, 1% of the app developers and 1% only earns more than the remaining 99% combined. In fact, most of these guys can't make enough money to survive. Why is that? Well, there's over 3 million apps in the stores, which makes it basically impossible for any of them to get noticed, unless they go for pet promotion. But you know what? Pet promotion is expensive. Nowadays, a mobile game is as much as $500,000 for one single child success. And why is that again? That's because the existing solutions for acquiring users on mobile, even the most widespread ones like Facebook or Twitter, let me put it this way, they suck. And I'm sure many of you have had similar experiences in this space. So, acquiring users on mobile is like shooting in the dark. That's why this picture. And try to hit as many eyeballs as possible in order to find a few happy users that will eventually spend time and money in your app. In 1998, there was a different company that solved a pretty similar problem on the web. They helped users find their content of interest out of millions of web pages. Do you remember who that company was? That was Google. Google solved this with PageRank. That is, a way of scoring each individual web page out there based on its relevance to users. With PageRank, Google enabled a whole web-based economy that eventually led it to become the most valuable company in the world. Now, Bubleye today on mobile takes that model and throws it upside down. With billions of mobile connected users, how can apps find their best suited and most valuable ones? Bubleye answers with iRank. That is a way of scoring each individual user based on their relevance to each app. Let me give you an example. Say you need to promote a 2D fantasy role-playing game. Now, Facebook, differently than most others, allows you to target based on demographics, and that's fantastic. So, for example, you have a user who is male, 25 years old in the US. You got another one who is male, 25 years old in the US. And you got user 3, who is male, 25 in the US. Which one would you be targeting? Now, Facebook will let you buy them all and hope that one of them will eventually convert. What Bubleye does instead is seek faces of those users and find that user 1 is in fact a big nerd who's super passionate about magic, fantasy, weird monsters, and all kinds of those creatures, and recommends content that is relevant to him and him only. How does this work? With hard science, meaning that over almost 2 years, we've been putting together a pretty unique piece of technology that leverages machine learning, natural language processing, artificial intelligence, and allows us to measure relevance. Let me show it to you in action. Say that app Crossy Road is looking to acquire the best suited, most valuable users. The first thing we do is we measure Crossy Road in itself, and we programmatically find that it's a fast-paced, textural game, but in short sessions with comic, cartoony content graphics. We then rank every other app and user based on their relevance to Crossy Road. For example, we find that Bounce a Bit is 63% relevant to Crossy Road, as they share common attributes as well as common users. Now, this allows us to recommend Crossy Road to users of Bounce a Bit, as we know it is relevant to them. $10 billion were spent in 2015 alone, up 100% from 2014, to acquire users on mobile. And despite this, most of the app developers still struggle to survive. We have these guys acquire those users that can actually run a sustainable business with. There are two main dimensions that define success in this space. On the one hand, scale, meaning how big of an impact can we make? On the other hand, effectiveness. What user quality can we drive? Now, solutions like Facebook definitely have scale, but as we have seen, lack in effectiveness. At the opposite end, down there are manual editorial solutions like webzines, in this example, Pocket Gamer, that drive very well-informed and passionate users, but lacking scale. Bubleye sits in the sweet spot right up there with the highest levels of scalability, as it's completely automated, it doesn't rely on any human activity, and just like Google does, it pre-calculates data, meaning that whenever a request comes, we are ready to serve it right away. At the same time, we also drive quality, as we recommend content to those users that are genuinely interested in it. Now, are you up for some great news? The great news is this actually works. During MOX, we got the opportunity to work on a growing amount of data, and we proved our ability to lift the performance of ad campaigns measured in the install rate over 30%. And this is just the beginning. And today I'm very generous, I'm going to give you another good news. We also proved scale, as we optimized over 1 million installs over 1 month alone. Tech is definitely very important, it's crucial to a product like ours, but what matters the most is people. Each of our core team members brings in over a decade of experience and passion in one unique piece of the equation. I have been working for several years with machine learning, matchmaking, and recommendation engines. My partner James, down there at the bottom of the room, has run massive mobile ad campaigns. He built success for games like Clash of Kings, Top Titans, and Cheetah Mobile and Helix. Bruce, our machine learning specialist, is a PhD with several publications and patents in the last few years. Roman, our data ninja, is one of the first 50 MongoDB masters in the world. We are working with some of the main players in the mobile advertising space. Through MOX, we signed Gmobile, that is one of the largest and fastest growing mobile ad platforms in Southeast Asia. They have over 100 million active users, over 500 million weekly impressions. And all these companies are trusting us with their data. They let us process over 50 million data points in the last month alone to improve the performance of their ad campaigns. And the same way these companies trust us with their data, we ask you to trust us with your investment. We are raising a $1 million round meant to help us support our growing customer demand. Our servers are literally on fire. We have upgraded them twice during the program. We now need more resources to take an even bigger step. We need more machine power, we need more engineers, and this is exactly where you can make a difference. We are Bubleye, and we are transforming the mobile ecosystem as we know. We are creating new, more scalable, more sustainable opportunities. And the last time this happened, it brought up the most valuable company in the entire world. So if you want to be part of this, this is your chance. Please come and talk to us. We'll be very happy to show you how we work our vision. Thank you very much.
Next up, we have an amazing team from Spain. I'd like to welcome to the stage Mybrana.
Let me show you some pictures. This is Taylor Swift. She has more than 60 million followers on Instagram. They are the Kardashians. The entire family has more than 200 million followers on Instagram. And they are Nicki Minaj and Beyonce. Together, more than 100 million followers on Instagram. But let me ask you a question. Do you know what all of these pictures have in common? They have millions of likes. But likes don't mean too much for these girls because they have millions. But do you know what likes mean for a teenager like this one? Everything. Likes mean everything for young people. So how can we help them to get more likes? Here is Mybrana. Mybrana is a platform that helps users to create super engaging videos for their social networks to get more likes. Users can create videos with visual effects in a few seconds just by adding real-time effects on people and places. We make the process to create videos with visual effects easy, mobile, and affordable. But how easy it is to produce this kind of videos with Mybrana? Let's see. First, you launch the app, and automatically you will see sound effects around your face. You can pick others. Then you change to the back camera and pick a 3D effect. You just drag and drop to the right location. You move, rotate, scale, and when you are ready, you record the first part of the video. Then you can move to another location, pick another 3D effect, drag and drop, and record the second clip of the video. After that, you can review the video, and it's ready to share in other social networks. So the process is really easy. You don't need a computer, you don't need to buy and to learn a video editing software that are expensive. And you don't need to be an artist to create these effects. Everything what you need is here in Mybrana. Download our app and you will create these videos in a few seconds. So, but how effective are those videos to get more likes? Here is Jesus. Jesus is a user of mine, one social network. He used to post every week videos in this social network, but he didn't get too much attention from the community. On average, he get 6 likes per post. But one day, he decided to use Mybrana and post this video, the one with the little penguins. This video get in a few hours 4,000 likes and more than 4 million views. And this video became viral and one of the most watched videos in Spain. So we multiplied by 1,000 the average engagement of Jesus' post. Here is our potential market. Our users are currently in other social networks and in instant messaging apps. They are young. They don't want to use a computer. They want a software running on their smartphone. And they want to get visibility and reputation. So we help them to get that. We expect to get 1% of this market in the following 2 years. Our business model is based on the effects that we sell in our store. We produce part of these effects, but we are open to sell the effects from other designers. Of course, we have brand-sponsored content. Well, this is our positioning. Here on your left, you can see the traditional tools to record videos with visual effects. These tools are expensive, need a computer to be run, They are really rich. They have a lot of functionalities to create your videos. However, the time to create these videos is too long. On average, to create 1 second of this kind of videos take half an hour, 1 hour. On your right, you can see the Bubleye solutions. They are really easy to use, fast, but they don't have too many advanced video editing functionalities. But Mybrana is a mobile app with professional functionalities, very easy to use, that allow users to create these videos in a few seconds. Why? Because we eliminate the post-production process. Everything happens in real time. Here is the team behind the project. I'm one of the founders and the CEO of the company. I have 5 years of experience in social networks and augmented reality. I was part of the team that developed the first augmented reality helmet that currently is starting to be marketed. Alejandro, the other founder, he has more than 10 years of experience in social networks. He was one of the founding team of 20. 20 is the most popular social network in Spain and South America, with more than 20 million users, and that was acquired by Telefonica several years ago. At Antonio and Miguel, they have created 3 startups in the social segment, and Jorge, our CMO, he used to work creating visual effects for Disney movies. So we all together have the right experience and expertise to take this project to the next level and to transform the world into a fun, playable one. We are growing really fast. We have more than 400,000 users this last month, and we expect to get 5 million users at the end of the year with the partnership with MOX and Gmobile. Our users are really engaged to our product. They have taken more than 1 million videos last month, and we have a really sticky product. We have, on average, twice the retention of any other app in our category. Currently, we are raising capital, $1 million, in order to take this project to the next level and to get our first $1 million in revenues. If you are interested, let's talk and make people to get more likes. Thank you very much.
All right, last but not least, I'd like to introduce to the stage, Taggle. Get on up here.
Okay. Raise your hand if you take photos with your smartphone. Maybe everyone, right? These days, we take dozens of photos every day with our smartphone. Selfie, family, food, walk, pets, and all of our private photos. But I'm sure we all have, where's that photo moment? Because we don't organize photos. Why? It takes too many steps to do so with pre-installed photo gallery. This is a big problem to all of smartphone users. We solved this problem introducing Taggle. Taggle is a smart photo gallery based on hashtag. To provide solution, we changed the means of organizing photos from folders to hashtags. Look at this. What is the right folder for this photo? Travel or family? KitKat. Vacay or friends? KitKat. Selfie or Halloween? It's too difficult, right? So people give up. But using Taggle, you can just multi-tab and search them later. So how to tag? We made it really simple. This is our pre-tagging. It needs just one touch. It's super easy, fast, and fun. Just like a game. One more thing. Every photo relay feature such as deleting, sharing, and locking can be done with one touch swipe. It is revolutionary. So using Taggle, you can find photos just in seconds. Yeah, so let's check out how users use it. Select your multi-tags step by step Then you can find certain photo and share them faster. Also, you can lock photos with passcode in a second. Just like that. We all have private photos, right? Deleting useless and duplicate photos with one touch. Then you're done for today. When you take new photos each day, we notify with push and batch for tagging. It's like checking your email every day. Our users have to come back to find photos with tags. You know, Chrome replaced the pre-installed Internet Explorer. WhatsApp replaced the pre-installed SMS in smartphones. So as WeChat. Just like that, Taggle will replace the pre-installed photo gallery in smartphones. Because all smartphones are prototypes and old-fashioned photo gallery from PC days. Our potential users are 4 billion. We now started to replace the gallery in emerging market with MOX partner. They have 100 million Android phones in emerging market like Southeast Asia and India. Also, we are going global to US and Europe. How about competitors? After Photo is confusing to organize photos. Their album system sucks. Google Photos auto tagging has a lot of mistakes. It tags your friend as gorilla or animal sometimes. Taggle is faster and different in terms of organizing and finding photos with cooler UI and UX. We have 3 business models. First, Taggle is for free if users watch ad. Second, we will provide premium photo cloud service with very cheap subscription. Third, we will approach to platform service like WeChat. Introducing our team, I'm the CEO 현재. When 19, I won a Digital Creative Award from Samsung. I invented a selfie device and app for iPhone. It covered in various tech media. I've exceeded $100 million of revenue within 2 months. Also, I have 10 years of experience in web and mobile industry. Taggle is my 3rd startup. Our engineers have over 7 years of experience. We are all photo geeks and very excited to build world's best photo gallery. These are our mentors and backers. I really want to thank them for their precious advice. We launched both Android and iOS last month, and Taggle was ranked top 4 in photo app category on App Store in Korea. We acquired over 600,000 users just in a month. No, this is wrong number. This morning, we broke 1.1 million users. Yeah. That's right. Our retention rate is 27% in 7 days. The number is improving. Weekly relaunch days over 40%. It's a remarkable number. Our vision is to be the next mobile platform based on photo. Because people take photos every day and use gallery every day, now and the future. Today, we are raising $1 million to go fast. We want to scale faster and achieve our vision with you. Let's change the world. Please comply next photo. Just look for Taggle. Thank you.
All right, that is pretty much it for Demo Day Batch 1. Here's to you guys. Woo! Big round of applause for all the team. So, huge thanks to also everyone here. We wouldn't have been able to do this without all the staff, the people helping us, all the people here at the Working Capital and everything. We want to thank you guys. So one more round of applause for everybody here. And you guys do the job. Thank you guys. There's going to be networking and food after this, and this is your opportunity to meet all the startups, talk to them, find out more, figure out your questions. It's exciting time. So, William?
That's it. Thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate it. Remember, MOX is a program, but it's just the beginning of our strategic relationship with these companies. You just saw Taggle. They had 400,000 users in the last 6 days. That's just the beginning, and we're taking it to the next 100 million. So thank you very much.